Hello, everyone. Welcome. I know this is not my normal live night, but I felt very called today to jump on and give a message. Why does this look so weird? To the collective, the group. I've been feeling this come through kind of all day. And I just had a party tonight. I was doing readings at a birthday party. And hey, Heidi, welcome. And kind of feeling this message come through all day. Wanted to end my day with giving you maybe some hope, maybe some clarity. And this is specifically going to be on the shenanigans that has happened over the last day. Specifically, kind of talking about the whole Roe versus Wade stuff. So if you're not interested in that, if you're not here for it, maybe not the live stream for you. But honestly, it kind of threw me for a huge loop. Like, we knew it was coming, but as soon as it was finalized, I just had a really rough day yesterday and today, to be honest. So I think this is also a lot for me. I want some clarity. I want to know what's going on. I don't do a whole lot of readings on like global stuff, but I just feel like my guides are pushing me to do it more and more. I don't know why I feel it. I think it's a little bit of like past stuff from some of the mentors that I've had, psychic mentors of like, ooh, what you should or shouldn't do. But I just feel like whenever we kind of have something happen, whether it's like globally or just kind of within, I mean, it could be anywhere. I feel this way even if it's another country that I'm not even in. But when there's a lot of energy of people feeling very impassioned by something, it's so hard for me not to be empathetic to it. I feel everyone's stuff, and it's so hard, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are the same way, which is why I'm doing the reading that I'm doing tonight, is because I feel like maybe you guys don't have that clarity coming through. Maybe you're not trusting what you're getting from your guides, so I'm kind of in here via proxy doing it for you. Hello, Soul Guide. Hello, Tori. Thank you. Seen a lot of new names. I know I am on much later than normal and on a different day, so hopefully we will see some new people tonight. Yes, such crappy energy. Not a fan of it. So let's get into it. And we aren't doing individual readings tonight because it's late already, and I've got an early morning tomorrow, but at the end, I will allow for questions on this specific topic. I've already got cards laid out, already got questions answered. But then, when we're done, if you guys have any further questions of like, okay, what can we do about this? What can we do about that? What do we need to know about this or that? We can definitely pull some. So let me start. And I won't get my, beliefs mixed into this, but I do feel like the majority of people are against what is happening in the United States. And I think we are enraged for good reason. And let's start with why the heck this is happening. And I love the card that I pulled, and that is Sanctuary. Take time out from the world, spend more time alone, meditate, or go on a retreat. So I kind of feel like our guides, are avoiding the question and are like, take a time out. And I kind of was like, when I pulled this, I was like, does that mean I need to not do this live? But I think there's two messages here. One is that we do all need a break from this. Obviously, look at it, be informed, but then when you are done, like, be done, move on with whatever it was that you were planning on doing anyway this weekend. You know what I mean? But I also think this Sanctuary card is coming up like for the collective. I actually feel like this energy is that people on both sides need to take a time out. I actually feel like people on both sides are just like done. And I shouldn't even say both sides, because I don't like affirming this whole like pitted against each other, you versus them, team A versus team B, kind of world that has been created within our country. but spending more time alone, take from the world. I feel like honestly, when I'm feeling into this card, I feel like everyone with regards to this topic, we're just like on sensory overload. Like we're done. Like we just want things to be peaceful. I think everybody on both sides just wants things to stop being so chaotic. And I will say, should I say this here? My guys are saying yes. Before I jump into the rest of these cards, if this provides any sort of hope, this has provided a lot of hope for me during the past couple years, and that is that if you're into astrology, if you're not, a lot of astrologists are kind of looking at the Pluto return of America right now. So when America was born, when it became a country, a country has like a birth chart. Anything has a birth chart technically. People, a new project, a business, and you can kind of get a sense of what the energy around that thing is from that birth chart. And so America has a birth chart, and it started when the country was born. I think it's technically like the day that the Declaration of Independence was signed is what they kind of use that as. And Pluto obviously is a really far away planet. And when we talk about a planet returning, it's that it's returning to the same place that it was when you were born, when the country was born. Since Pluto is so far away, it's taking a lot longer. It takes like 220 some odd years to return back to its spot. And it's crazy, and I will link some of the videos to this down below if you're curious on learning more. But it's crazy because there have been other countries and stuff that they've traced this. They trace their Pluto return and what happened at that time. And usually it's like the downfall or the resurgence or rebirth of that country. I don't quote me on this, but I want to say they looked at it and exactly for the Romans, the Roman Empire fell during the Pluto return. And so Pluto is such a slow-moving planet that or maybe it's not slow as much as far away. I'm learning some of this. I could be wrong on. That's why I'm going to link the videos. But it takes a long time. So this has been happening since kind of almost before 2020 a little bit, and it's going to happen residually after 2020. Actually, I should have checked my facts on this before I started this. I'm sorry, but I actually think, we know the peak, the Pluto return date was this year, 2022. It was it April or February? Somewhere around the earlier half of this year. It was basically the week that something big happened, literally that week. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but basically it's not just when that planet returns, everything is bad that day and then it's good the rest of the day. There's kind of a lead up. The energy before and the energy after is kind of similar. And Pluto is all about destruction. It's about death. It's about rebirth. It's about bringing to light what's not working. And so it's very interesting to me when you basically look at the height of this being 2022, but it kind of starting in 2020. We got the pandemic, we got Black Lives Matter, we have honestly, I feel like I can't even count it all. Gun violence, now this, there's just, it feels like every day there's something. And I love the TikToks out there that are just can we just not have a life-changing or a life-altering day every single day? I feel like I'm living through a new historical single day, and it's frustrating. Anyways, so hope is that that this might happen for a little bit longer, according to astrology, if you believe in it, if you want to believe it. I'm learning about it. I'm kind of paying attention to it, but I find it very interesting, the timing of all of this, along with what Pluto return is. And basically it's kind of saying that we are going to bring to light what is no longer working, and we're going to look at it, and we either have this option of not fixing it, having this big downfall, or maybe we'll turn around and we'll fix it, and it'll be a huge turning point where the country gets amazingly better. And the choice is really up to us. And this has happened both ways. Like, I know I mentioned the Roman Empire, but there was one other thing that I remember, or I don't remember, that it was for the better. There was like a big change that happened during that Pluto return, and the country got a lot better. Anyways, Pluto return. I will link some videos on it down below, but I think it's crazy, the timing of it. I think it's maybe something worth looking at, and I really am using it as kind of a beacon of hope right now that, we're just in the aftermath of this Pluto return. And my hope is that what's happening is that we're all bringing this to the surface. We are saying, this no longer works and it needs to change. And the thing is there's a lot of it. There's a lot of it that needs to be brought up. There's a lot of it that needs to be changed. So it feels exhausting. But, I truly believe that because of it, we are going to make a better place for us all to live in the future. It just might take a lot of work, a lot of hardship, a lot of stress, and a lot of time to ourselves to kind of, take care of ourselves. And I do feel like, again, why this is happening, one, we do need to take care of ourselves, take a break from this individually. But I think, as a collective, we're also coming back to ourselves and saying, what is it that I believe? What is it that is worth it to me at the end of the day? And I do feel like my guys are kind of saying that this is a turning point for a lot of people. A lot of people are really questioning whether or not they agree with things like this. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing because a lot of people might suddenly wake up to making change, if that makes sense. So I kind of did past, present, future of what's going on here. And I pulled in the past, I pulled the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And I'm using the Chromatic Fates Tarot tonight, like my favorite deck. And let's see, the Wheel of Fortune. And what's interesting is I do feel like this reading is kind of like on the fence of like, we could go one way, we could go the other. But I'm trying to have our guides channel something positive, at least for us individually. So in the past, Wheel of Fortune is all about resisting change, like not breaking the cycles that need to be broken. And so now with, again, Pluto coming in, maybe it's not Pluto, but it's us realizing those cycles need to be broken. We're sick and tired of this. We're wanting some change. And so this, to me, kind of affirms, okay, yeah, that's where we were. We are accepting a lot of things. I think that a lot of us were denying our emotions about it in the past, because I got the 5 of Cups in reverse. A lot of us were struggling with it, maybe sweeping it under the rug. Again, this reading is for the collective, not so much just this little group that's watching this video. I feel like this is the world. This is the world being like, there's a lot of crap happening. We don't like it. We don't know what to do about it. We're really sad. And then, what happens when you shove things in the closet and you don't address them is they basically, it bottles up, it explodes, and now you're left to deal with it in a much messier way. And another card that I pulled basically says we weren't taking action. And I pulled some Astro Dice over here. And so now, where are we at now? We are in a place where I actually really like the cards that we got. We got the High Priestess, the Hierophant, and the Moon. All major, major energy. Which, I mean, you guys probably feel that. Hey, everyone, if you're just joining us, we are doing a collective message tonight. Just a group channeled reading that I felt really drawn to give. So no individual readings, but I will allow for questions kind of at the end. And so what I feel like right now is happening, the energy of where we're at, is we're pulling back the masks. We're saying, what is it that I really do want? Who are the people that I want to surround myself with? What is it that I do believe in? What don't I believe in? Who's lying? The mask of the moon, it illuminates what's no longer working. And when we talk about the moon, it's also about what we're hiding, because the moon is all about emotions and the things that maybe we bottled up, haven't dealt with. And so as a collective, we're all suddenly shining light on those things we've been hiding from. And when I kind of feel like this, it's like the emotions of, all right, we should have dealt with this sooner, but also now is the time. And then let's see, the Hierophant is such a perfect card for us to pull right now. The Hierophant is literally systems, governments, churches. It's the higher up. It's the people who have more access than you do. It's kind of like that upper level of authority, or what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, authority. I think that's a good way of putting it. And we're questioning it. We're saying, what is it? Who are these people running this? Again, coming back to the kind of message of the Pluto return of like, is this what we want? Is this what we want to change? Are we okay with this? Let's see. And I think that's where we're at right now. We are questioning everything. We are pulling back the layers to see what's hidden, and especially around our government, the people in charge, the people that have more power and control than us. And we're really using our intuition of what is okay and what is right. The High Priestess is understanding that we have access to higher information, to intuitive information, that we don't know all of the answers, but we trust our gut and we know that something is not right. And that's, I think, where all this power, this anger is coming from. I will say, though, we're in the thick of it, you know. I feel like we can all feel that, and remember again to take the sanctuary, take the time out where you need it. I feel like whenever the last major ass thing that happened was, I shared an Instagram post. What was it? I don't even remember. Like, there's literally so many now in the course of this year. Like, there's been over like 200 some mass shootings in the US so far this year. It's kind of been ridiculous. But that one, it wasn't even a mass shooting. Whatever I shared about, I can't remember. I think it was around the Pluto return, whatever it was. And it's driving me nuts that I can't remember what that event was, because I watched all these videos about the Pluto return. I was like, waiting. I was like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Nothing happened the day of, but it was like the day after. Like, bam, something. Oh, it was the Ukrainian war. Duh. And even though that's happened in Ukraine, I do think that it technically does influence us as a country. Anyway, so point being, right now, the emotions are high. So remember to take time for yourself, to fill up your cup, to do, take care of yourself. I did such a horrible job at this yesterday. I was like eating like crap, was just not caring about anything, didn't get anything done. I was just like feeling sorry for myself. And I think that's totally fine. You got to take care of yourself in whatever way that you can, but then come back, make sure that you do take care of yourself. I've been trying to do that a little bit more today. Spend time alone, work out those thoughts, bring out the tarot cards, journal about it, do whatever you need to do. But have hope that conclusions are within reach. This to me is kind of saying, like, mentally we're all over the place. We're angry, we're sad, we're mad. We want to take it out on other people. We want to hide, we want to move, whatever it is. And the full moon eclipse too. This is like crazy intense energy. But this is saying that soon we're going to feel a little bit more stable. We're going to feel like, okay, we've processed the emotions. Now we're going to move forward. So at least that's a little bit of hope. Again, the quicker you jump into this like sanctuary energy, the quicker you're going to get there. And I know you guys are leaving comments, but I just want to kind of continue on this roll so I'm not influenced by outside stuff. I just want to make sure that this is coming through as clearly as possible. Now for the future, I pulled a ton of cards because I kept getting a ton of cards I didn't like. But I'm going to read them and tell you guys what I'm getting. So, Six of Swords. This is literally like mental challenges. This is just going to be a hard thing for us to handle. But we know how to, handle that. We know how to take care of ourselves. If you feel like you don't, it's just about finding that daily routine, taking care of yourself. For me, it's kind of doing spiritual work. It's also just journaling, meditating. It's facing my emotions instead of ignoring them. But just understand, what I feel like with the Six of Swords card is that there's still more that might be happening. So like there's no way to sugarcoat this, but I just feel like they're kind of saying like, don't think it's going to be all over soon, be prepared for more. But when you're prepared and you know how to take care of yourself and come back to your sanctuary, in a way, then you're going to be able to handle it. And, even if that sanctuary, they're telling me to just share what I did last night, which is I put my phone in my bedroom and I didn't go touch it for the whole evening. And I watched movies with my husband that just made me happy. And I did that all night. I read a book that made me really happy. It kind of distracted me. And today I got up and journaled. Like that was it, but it was helpful. That's all I really needed. And then another card that I got for the future was Death in reverse. And I'm hearing that with these cards, it's like the future is, we have a choice. Ooh, that was a big bug. We have a choice. We could choose to see what's no longer working. We can let it go. The Death card, again, like Pluto energy. We could let it go. We could let something new be rebirthed, or we could continue to stay stuck in this. And I'm hearing to pull some cards on this of how can we collectively help this. And I have seen a lot of people on Instagram, TikTok, in the spiritual community saying, hold the vibration, hold the hope, because the light and the hope is going to be what's going to help us all. If we are all just doom and gloom, not saying that you can't feel that way, but, collectively, when we're putting our energy out there, we want to be putting out energy of hope and love. Kind of like, I was about to say, kind of like what I'm doing tonight, but I don't know how hopeful this will be. I hope it is. But I feel like, again, this is a choice. And because we're in the middle of it right now, we don't know. We don't know how it's all going to play out, especially there's so many variables, so many people involved. But then I also got the Knight of Cups, which is taking action on our emotions. And I'm hearing that this is specifically the people higher up. They need to take actions on how they feel. And right now they're ignoring that. And they're kind of just going by the book and by what other people are telling them to do. And appealing to their emotions is going to be more helpful. I'm pessimistically like, how on earth do we do that? I don't know. But it kind of makes sense to me because I don't know how much to get my own personal opinion in here. I guess I'm already getting quite a bit of it in here just by doing this reading tonight. But I do feel like, when you're making decisions like the decisions that were made yesterday, it to me, it feels like you're not in touch with your emotions. You're not in touch with your intuition. There's something else motivating those decisions. And so if they could take action on how they really feel, that's what's going to change this. If they can really say, you know what, maybe that's no longer serving this country or these people, and we're going to let it go, that in a positive way could be how this changes. And then, I got the Queen of Coins, Queen of Pentacles. To me, this is women. This is the women, people who identify as women, people who stand up for women in this whole situation. I feel like we have the choice. We have the choice to, because this card is normally about doing like the inner work, but I don't think that's what's coming through for this. The Queen of Pentacles for this reading, I think, is more just about standing in this energy of like, no, I deserve a place here too. Like, that's the energy that I'm getting. Like, no, you can't take away what I already had. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna change this because I already own this version of me. That's kind of cool. And I think if everyone agrees with that sentiment, we're gonna have a great future coming our way. It's interesting to me what's coming out about the future. And I'm almost done. I've got 2 more cards. Bring love into the situation, balance spirituality and practicality. And I pulled all of these future cards reversed. That to me is just saying, again, we have this choice. we have the choice of not bringing love into this situation. I think they're already kind of answering the question of like, what can we do about this? It's having those conversations in a loving way. It's protesting in a loving way. It's, donating in a loving way, whatever is most comfortable to you, but it's not doing something out of hate or fear. It's bringing love into it. And it's funny too, because it's new moon in Aquarius, which to me is all about new, fresh energy in the collective. This is what we need. And I'm kind of hearing like, if you feel like you can't really touch people in a big way, you can touch the people around you in a very small way, by the way you act, by the way you speak, telling them what you believe and bringing love into it, and, not getting into, fighting or I feel like I'm generalizing, and, depending on the person that you're talking to, that might be easier said than done. But to me, this is kind of saying, I'm going to hold that vision. I'm going to hold the hope and the intention of the future. And I'm read it, even if it's only one or two people that I influence, awesome. But that's doing that work on a smaller level. And the fact that we're balancing spirituality and practicality, to me, reversed, it makes so much sense, because one is being very heavily weighted right now, because I feel like this whole decision was a very, not even spiritual, but religious influence. They are putting the religion way over the practicality. And so this needs to be balanced as well. And I think for us too, this is about making sure that when we are speaking to other people, that we aren't, it's almost like, not that we're like too woo-woo or something about it. It's more just about, I'm hearing it from my guides. They're talking about like the byproduct. It's not trying to convert people. It's not trying to get people to stop believing their religion, but it's the outcome of what you both believe in. You both believe in love. You both believe in respecting people. So it's about connecting. Like, we both agree on this, right? Like, if you're talking to somebody about this, it's like, you agree that people should be treated fair. I agree that people should be treated fair. Cool. Awesome. We can have a different religion, but we agree in the same end goal, right? That's kind of more what they're talking about with like spirituality. Don't necessarily think that just because, somebody else is pushing their beliefs, that it's permission to push yours. Don't match their energy, if that makes sense. All right. That's the future. I do want to ask, though, I want to ask that same question again that I asked at the beginning, which was, what is going on right now? And the answer that we got was for ourselves. It was a guidance for ourselves, because that was way more important than what's going on right now. But now that we know, we need to take care of ourselves. I just want to ask again, why is all this happening? What is the purpose of this? Freedom. Oh, I just got chills. This is who we're, this was the intention. This was the intention of this country, this place. Even if you aren't in the U.S. And you support this, the whole point is freedom. It's being able to let other people have and make their own choices. It's about free will. And why is this happening? Freedom needs to be restored. We'll see. We'll see if we can get there together. I think we can. That's so crazy. That's so funny. Just because that, and if you're not from the U.S., that's we're all about being free. Really doesn't feel like it. Let me just read the comments really quick, because I just wanted to finish that first. Goldie says the pendulum is swinging. Mass conscience is awakening those out of alignment. I mean, I sort of agree with you to some extent. I think that a lot of people are realizing that, a lot of things that we ignored is no longer okay. And now we're finding that new equilibrium. And that doesn't just happen overnight. There's a lot of push and pull. But hopefully, again, I'm hearing from spirit that our intention should be to hold the hope, the vision for what it should be. A lot of people are holding, maybe even unconsciously holding the intention that something bad is going to happen. And they don't even realize that, kind of in the law of attraction sort of way, they're bringing in more of that, or that's all they can see because that's all they're focused on. I forgot I also rolled the astrology dice. And y'all, I pulled the freaking North Node and the South Node. North Node and South Node. To put it very quickly, North Node, everyone has a North Node in their chart. I'm pretty sure it's based on the moon. It's like, where was the North Pole of the moon facing? What constellation is it pointing to? And where is that South Node? It might not be the moon. If somebody knows, correct me if I'm wrong. And the South Node is pointing to another constellation. And the North Node, so if your North Node is in, I wish I could remember mine at the moment. If your North Node is in Pisces, then that's something you're striving towards in this life. You are striving towards being more mystical, more intuitive, and your South Node will point to the direct opposite sign, which is Virgo. And so maybe your South Node is all about moving away from being a perfectionist, being analytical, being too much in your mind, and again, more towards the North Node of being kind of in your intuition. So the fact that we got the North Node and the South Node, that to me is saying right now, this whole thing, we are in this battle of where do we want to go? Do we want to go backwards or do we want to go forwards? And the best thing we can do is just hope. And they're literally showing me the like Harry Potter when he's fighting Voldemort, and their wands connect and they're like pushing the ball of light. It's like, which way do we want to go? We want to help push it towards, eliminating the bad. So if that's like a good visual for you to help remember North versus South Node. And it's in the third house. And the third house, right? Third house is what I got. Communication, solving problems, how you perceive information. This house, it's interesting to me because this to me says we're having problems communicating. I'm hearing that social media is a problem of this because there's a perceived reality. Even what I see is probably not 100% right because of the algorithms and how it feeds us information. And so this is a huge challenge collectively for us to communicate with each other and do it in a positive way and not in a negative way. And the big question, I feel like my guides are kind of just like, it's on you guys. Like, this isn't just laid out as, oh, it's going to happen. This is our chance to kind of step up to this plate and prove that we can do it. And if we can't, then we're going to fall apart. I apologize if this message is not coming out as hopeful as I was hoping. A lot of these comments, I'm not quite following y'all. I'm trying. How long have you been on? 33 minutes. I'm so lost here, but I'm not here to argue about it. Let's just say that. I don't know if I want to go into that. I think, Shannon, to me, the only thing with what you're saying is, and this is something that is coming up to trigger me because I tried to have a conversation with someone in my family yesterday and it did not go well. And they brought up that same point. And I think the bigger issue is, what about those states that are corrupt? What about the states where those people aren't protected? Like, I'm lucky I'm in Colorado going to affect Colorado, but what about the people that live next door that are going to be affected, that can't get that corruption out? And I think it's less about how it's carried out, because that's an argument of how it's carried out. And to me, it's more of, why is this a thing? It's fundamentally an issue that needs to be all across the board. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, in my opinion, like slavery. We could argue, oh yeah, let's give that to the individual states, but shouldn't we be having a bigger conversation of whether or not it's okay? Just my 2 cents. But yes, it's very hard not to feel negative about it. Honestly, I need to be wrapping this up, but I did want to ask how we can move forward feeling a little bit better. So let's do that. Okay. I kind of love that this card came out. We got the Fool, which to me is kind of like that naive hope. The naive hope that it'll all work out. It's almost like, but I'm also hearing, because the negative side of the Fool card is somebody who goes into something blindly and just trusts that it's going to happen. It's somebody who doesn't educate themselves. It's somebody that is not very discerning, So we kind of still need to be discerning. We need to be a little bit educated. But the Fool card tells me that sometimes you just got to trust and believe that it's all going to work out. You have to have that childlike sense of like, Santa Claus is coming. It's going to work out. And the fact that we've got the Star card paired right next to it, that to me is hope. Is we got to hold that vision of hope. We got to hold the vision that it's going to work out, because through the law of attraction, collectively, if we all wish for hope, that in turn affects our actions. If we're hopeful, we put out that hope to the people around us. We put out the hope to, just one person in our lives, and then it spreads. And why are they giving me so many Harry Potter quotes tonight? They're telling me the quote that Dumbledore says, that like, there can't be light, there can't be darkness without light, or light drives out the darkness, or something like that. And I think a lot of people, they're telling me that a lot of people actually want the same thing. It's just that, again, it's the astrology dice of like, we just can't communicate. We're being forced to communicate. And I'm hearing that, and I should have said at the beginning of this reading that I can be wrong. I'm channeling what I'm getting. I'm saying what I'm getting, but I could be wrong, or I could not have the whole picture. But I do feel like my guides are specifically pointing out that the last like decade or so, communication has been so much easier, right? We're talking with each other on our phones. We can communicate with each other like this. That used to not be a thing. Like, even when I was a kid, you had to go out and meet people. You had to talk to people in person. But now it's become so much more accessible to talk to each other, to voice our opinions, to say whatever the hell is on our mind, and not really think about the consequences. And because of that, we've become more defensive. We've become more aggressive. We've become more withholding. Like, I'm kind of getting this energy of we've all just been fighting with each other at a distance, and it's not working. The system that we have made, social media, email, all of it, it doesn't work, to some extent. We're not using it in the best way that we could. That was a download. And I felt that way before too. They've talked to me about that before. I'm seeing if there's anything I'm missing there. I think I'm distracted because I know you're all chatting. I'm like, what am I missing? Yes, totally agree, Goldie. Yes, I agree, Tara Lynn. Like, I don't understand that argument. All right. Hello, Eureka. I am live doing kind of an impromptu collective reading, feeling it for my fellow women, people who identify as women or people who identify as anything and just want to support women and are feeling the feels right now. But yeah, I just feel like the point was my guides are saying that the communication, the way we communicate, we've gotten really good at putting everything online, but not in person. And so now all of it has turned into fire on the internet and we can keep, stoking the flames, or we can remember how to speak to each other again. Maybe that is through the internet. Maybe that is, person to person. Honestly, and tell me your opinion, but I feel like I've had a much harder time talking to people in person about tough topics than I did before. But granted, I've basically always had the internet as a 90s baby. Alrighty. So, and this pull was about what we can do to bring it about in a positive way. And I got the 6 of Swords. This is about, I love this card because I've been using it as it's like your psychic bubble. It's your protection. This woman is in this bubble. There's somebody's coming at them from all sides. Negative energy, but it's like you're protected. You let it bounce off. You let it not affect you. And I think I've been really beating myself up because I didn't do a very good job of that yesterday. I let it all in, and then I blew it out on some people in my family. It's okay. It happens. But this is another key for us making it happen and happen well. We got to stay on our boundaries. We have to set up the block of, not talking to certain types of people, knowing when the conversation is over. Also, I'm hearing getting off social media at certain points, stopping ourselves when we feel like we're going too far down the path of pessimism. Let me pull some more cards. What are we protecting ourselves from? Not letting people in. Part of this is that we have to let people in, and if we're over protecting to the point where we're not letting people in, we can't get that help. And I also pulled abundance. Oh, okay. And to me, this is kind of saying that in order for us to have this high vibration, to send out this love, this hope, we've got to see what's good in our life. We got to be grateful. We have to be open to the abundance. I often forget that, abundance is not always about money. Abundance is having your needs and wants met, feeling happy, feeling grateful. So the more you can step into that abundant energy, which is hard during this moment, it feels like everything is working against you. It feels like the world is falling apart. How can I possibly feel anything good about this, But when you can, and I listened to a reading today, it's when you can be grateful for even the small stuff, you start to raise, I hate the word raise your vibration because I feel like it comes across as if somebody did a meter and they're like, your vibration is at 4, it needs to be at 10, I don't know. To me, it's more just raising your mood, your attitude, so that you can protect yourself a little bit more. It's a lot harder to protect yourself when you are not giving to yourself, when you're not getting the support you need, when you're not being appreciative and grateful for the things that are around you, although it's hard to do that now. To find this hope, to find this kind of naive wonder, we need to give that to ourselves. This, to me, it's very interesting the way that I do feel like this this part of the message is for this group specifically. But abundance, noticing your blessings, being able to let the right people in, not closing everybody out, and having that hope and the naive just wonder and hope for the future, I think is what's going to keep us in a state where we can help collectively manifest this outcome that we want. I think I'll end it there, but I will open it up to questions. If any of you guys want to ask questions on this particular topic, feel free. I don't know. Again, like another question of how can we support this? How can we handle this? I don't know. Happy to kind of pull it open because I feel like I'm missing some of the stuff or missing questions that could be good questions. Thank you, Carolyn. I've learned a lot from other people that are much better at me than it. Like, I know it really bothers me, Carolyn, that I say guys, like I say you guys all the time. It's such a Colorado thing. Like, it's not like, but I beat myself up because I'm like, oh, I shouldn't be saying that. I want to be inclusive. I catch myself doing it in all my videos. And I'm also like, stop it, Lauren. No, am I late? Not really. This was random, impromptu, so you guys didn't know what was happening. Ooh, homework, fun. So yeah, any questions on this specific topic for the group? Feel free to ask. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask our guys, what are we missing with this whole situation? And then another good question to ask is always, what question should I ask? I love that one. Sometimes we don't ask the right questions. Ooh, oh, this is the hope that I was hoping for. Thank you, guys. Oh, the relief that just swept through me. What are we missing? Luck is on your side. A win-win outcome is in forecast. The end of a tough cycle approaches. Y'all. And I'm not saying this is going to happen tomorrow. I do think we're gonna feel this at least until 2024 because we felt it as early as 2020. You know what I mean? And I'm kind of like, I'm swearing by this whole Pluto return thing, which I will share links in the description down below. But balance, a win-win outcome is in forecast, full moon in Libra. And I'm immediately getting, like, when I laid these cards down, I got kind of clairsentiently like, there are more good people in this world than we expect. Things will be righted. I heard a quote today that, like, the last fight the loudest. That's like what I'm hearing. I'm getting chills. Luck is on your side. To me, I'm just getting this message of there's so many of us that know it's wrong, that know what, and not just this specifically. We know that all of these things being brought up are fundamentally, they need to be changed. And it's coming from a place of, love and equality and wanting everybody to be safe and happy. And because of that, I think they're kind of telling me that the collective is good people, but we don't see that. We see a lot of the negative. We see a lot more of the other side. But really, I think it's kind of an illusion. They're telling me the moon card again. Is that an illusion? They're kind of saying, hold that naive hope that there's more people that want the good than the bad. Topic is the whole the Roe v. Wade crap, because I needed it tonight. I needed to work through it. I needed to hear some messages. I know a lot of other women need to hear those messages. I kind of explained it back at the beginning. But yes, and then the end of a tough cycle approaches. To me, this is the hope that I needed tonight. But again, I think we should be asking, what's our role to play in this? So let's see if I can remember that. What's our role to play in it? And then what was the other question I was thinking of asking? Because I asked, what are we missing? And what we're missing is that it's going to be okay. But good questions, Carly. Let's ask, what is this trying to teach the collective from a spiritual perspective? That's a good way of phrasing it. It's a little bit of a different question than before, but sometimes just changing a little bit of the phrasing can get you a whole different kind of answer. I have not pulled the Tower in this deck before. This is the Tower. Excuse my language. Jeez. I feel like I need to look up the Tower meaning. Let me just do it, because I know what it means, but like, for those of you who don't, I really want you to understand what the Tower is. This is our Tower moment, like literally. And again, hopefully the idea of the whole Pluto return will make you realize it's not just going to keep happening. It's not just going to keep going and keep going. This is like hopefully just like the residual energy. We're working through the last of it. Cross your fingers. Sudden change, upheaval, chaos, revelation, awakening. I totally feel that energy for us. The tower shows a tall tower perched on the top of a rocky mountain. Lightning, oh, this one is not the original Rider-Waite, but it's its own artistic interpretation of it. Lightning strikes, sets the building alight, and two people leap from the windows headfirst and arms outstretched. It is a scene of chaos and destruction. The tower itself is a solid structure, but because it has been built on shaky foundations, it only takes one bolt of lightning to bring it down. It represents ambitions and goals made on false premises. Shut up. This is so perfect. I love the tarot. No Quiero El Tower. I don't want the tower. The lightning represents... Oh, wait, sorry. Let me read what it means. Expect the unexpected, massive change, upheaval, destruction, and chaos. But we've been through it. We can survive. Our tower has fallen a couple times. We're okay. we're working on rebuilding the tower. This is all about the foundation of the tower not being structurally there. And so it's falling apart in front of us. And this is because this is often an ignorance of that tower. It's almost like the tower has been leaning, it's been cracking, and we're like, oh, we'll just put some paste on it. You know what I mean? And then it's like finally like it's not our choice and it falls apart. Let's see. I'm just reading. I love Biddy Tarot, by the way. I think that although I took a course on tarot, I think that this is just a fantastic way that it interprets these. Just when you think you're safe and comfortable, a tower moment hits and throws you for a loop. A lightning bolt of clarity and insight cuts through the lies and illusions you have been telling yourself as a collective. And now the truth comes to light. Your world may come crashing down before you in ways you could never have imagined, as you realize that you have been building your life on unstable foundations, false assumptions, mistruths, illusions, blatant lies, and so on. The best way forward is to let this structure self-destruct so you can rebuild and refocus. And let's be real, with a card like the Tower, you have no choice but to surrender to the destruction and chaos. You need to trust that life is happening for you, not to you. And this is all for a reason. I'll end it there. Such a great question. Such a great card to pull. Gosh. Now I'm just going to be like, we're just having our tower moment. We're just having a tower moment. Oh, interesting, Silly Rabbit. No worries. Thanks for stopping by, Terlin. I knew that a lot of people were probably going to miss this and just rewatch it live. For that reason, I should probably wrap it up. Let me ask one last question. Okay. So what can we as a little group here take action on right now? Once you're ready, once you've taken care of yourself. Hang on. I'm not remembering this card because it's visually so different. I don't understand. We're pulling trickery, but we're also pulling good vibes. Hold your vision. So I got the 7 of Swords, which is about, oh, okay, I see it now. So the 7 of Swords, what we can do right now is basically Sort through the mental stuff. Sort through what's the illusion, what's the lies, the trickery. Educate yourself. Maybe it's that you're only paying attention to one news source. Even if you feel like you're being very open and honest to this, make sure you're trying to be even more so. This is all about just making sure that you are not falling prey to misinformation. Like literally, I feel like that's what this card is about. And then the Sun card, this is about joy, optimism. Again, that message of the Fool, the Star, coming in and saying, find the things to celebrate right now. Find the hope, find the joy. If you need to have like 3 or 4 days where you're just doing things that make you happy and ignoring the rest of the world so that you can recharge, fill up your own cup, and then spread your light out to other people. If you want to share your message on a bigger scale, kind of like I did tonight, do so within your community. Or, if you don't have that, you can still touch just 1 or 2 people around you by sharing and spreading this joy and holding your vision. That vision being, the win-win outcome in forecast, luck is on your side. I'm surprised I remember all these cards. And a tough cycle ends soon or something. Ending of a tough cycle approaches, I think. That's what we can do now. I feel good about that. I can find some joy in tomorrow. I can find some joy in this weekend. Fall of the Cabal. I don't know what that is. Thank you, Shannon. Good night. My question is, does the tower not only relate to Roe v. Wade, but individually to those of us in the chat? Ooh, good question. I'm kind of hearing like some of us yes, some of us no. If you're feeling like very in tune with what's been going on, it probably feels like related to the tower moment. I pulled a card and didn't ask a question. I feel like it's good. I think the answer is for some of us yes, for some of us no. Like, I don't know about everybody else, but I was having a really great week. Everything was going fantastic before all of this, and I kind of let it derail my happiness and my excitement. And, the cards that I'm pulling are kind of like, you're in charge of your mind. You get to see, and your emotions. You are the king and the queen of your emotions and your mind. You get to decide if you let it affect you. Silly Rabbit, if you're feeling like that card personally resonates with you, take it. Spirit works like that. They like to give out multiple messages in one. Tower moment is here. But remember, it's because it was built on a rocky foundation in the first place. Don't think of it as doom and gloom. The tower fell over. It's on the ground. We're going to fix it. That's what we're doing right now. We're fixing it. We're making it better. I think if, again, we stay in the negativity, again, it's not bad to feel negativity, but it's more when you spread it and when you let it affect your actions and you use it as a reason to like hurt others or, bring others down with you. I think that's where it becomes a problem. I don't think any of you are doing that, but I want it to be a disclaimer because I don't want anyone to feel guilty for feeling negative. I sure did feel it yesterday. I felt it today. Might feel it for a couple more days. So I think I needed to hear this message. I hope that's a pretty picture. I hope this message helped you all as well. So I don't want another one. And yeah, thank you guys so much for being or watching this replay. Some of you for being alive on this impromptu night. If you have watched the whole entire replay, thank you for being here. And I hope that this brought you some hope. And remember that you can always come to me as a resource. And, I honestly encourage everyone to use their psychic abilities to kind of get through all of this. Pull some tarot cards, journal, meditate. I really think that those tools are there to help us for a reason. Neptune, the planet of illusion, goes retrograde around 28th until the end of the year. Well, that couldn't come soon enough, Yurka. Just teasing. Oh yeah, and so again, there's no things in the comments quite yet, but hopefully if you're watching a replay, I'm basically going to go inside and just fill the comments with a bunch of resources. There was a lot of cool things that I found on TikTok last night, especially in relation to astrology And like yesterday was a 666 day, which, don't think like Satan or any of that. 6 is the sign of the goddess, like a pregnant belly. And this is like our time to like rise and claim our goddess power. And there's a lot of other synchronicities people have found in this moment. It gave me hope. I'm going to share it in the comments below so that maybe it does give you hope. Alrighty, you guys. So, and if you're watching live right now, maybe give it like 30 minutes and hopefully I'll have them all up. Thank you so much for being here. Take care of yourselves, please. And I will see members next Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday, for our member live night. And I think the rest of you, I will see the following Tuesday. Oh, I totally agree, Yurka. Important not to practice premature positivity. And I would also say toxic positivity, of only looking at the positive and not even bothering to look at the negatives. You know what I mean? Both can also be bad. Feel feelings, process them, and focus on what is preferred. Thank you, Goldie. I love the advice. All right. Thank you guys for sharing this space with me tonight. I am off to bed. Bye.